Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Welcome good to Straight Talk. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki. And on Straight Talk, we did political, social, and economics here in Michigan, the U.S., and abroad. Now, joining me tonight,
Dennis Burnside.
Paget Maynard.
Okay, man, we got a lot to cover tonight. But we see unemployment, all of that's down, but still they talking about inflation is like the highest it's been in 40 years.
Yeah, it was over 8% 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Now it's down to about 7.5%, and if you look at the last 2 weeks, it seems to be tracking to diminish, go down a little bit. But the issue that I think is most pernicious is how the Republicans are politicizing this issue while doing nothing
Right.
to ameliorate or eliminate the issue.
Right.
If you look at Western Europe, Asia,
Yeah.
South Pacific nations, Africa, South America, the entire world economy is entangled in this inflationary cycle.
Yeah.
And a lot of that can be attributed to two things: the war in Ukraine,
Yeah.
where you have much of Africa and a big portion of Asia and Western Europe's wheat and other foodstuffs being held up and being shipped out completely slowly to the point that it's risking starvation in certain parts of the world, certainly in East Africa.
Yeah.
And then the second factor that you have to look for in inflation, beyond the fact that we have this supply chain issue that's going on in, again, primarily beginning in Asia. I'm sorry, in the supply chain issue that's in Asia because of what they're struggling to do coming out of the COVID pandemic. So they don't have sufficient people that are healthy enough, sufficient bodies that can pick, pack, and ship these worldwide supplies that the entire globe relies on coming out of China for from shoes to hats to anything that you use in your home. Most of it nowadays is coming out of China. Well, they're having a hard time meeting the demand. It's all jammed up, and because of that, demand is high, supply is low, prices go up. It's just a natural thing. Now, Republicans look at that and they say it's Biden's fault.
Yeah.
You know, it's Biden's fault. It's Biden's fault. It's the president's fault. Okay. Well, let's suppose for a moment that it is Biden's fault and he can do something about it. Well, what Biden has proposed is that we look into whether or not corporations are price gouging. And as we dig in, we see evidence, just plain as the nose on your face, that corporations, especially U.S. corporations, are gouging their customers because they've got this beard to hide behind in the terms of worldwide inflation. They blame it on that, and then they can blame that on Biden. So last week, the Democratic Congress in the House passed a bill that would address this issue of price gouging. Make it illegal for corporations to gouge over their usual profit margins that they enjoy during normal times. When they're, you see margins now that are triple, quadruple what they were before, and of course corporate profits are skyrocketing in this inflationary economy. You would think that with inflation being so high, that their costs would go up and their margins would stay about the same. But see, we're not seeing that. We're seeing their costs maintained at a lower level, but the price they're selling to the market is continuing to go up. And the only explanation you can have is price gouging. So the Democrats put this bill on the floor, took it to a vote, And I want you to ask me, Paget, how many Republicans do you think voted for this bill to prevent their constituents in Tennessee, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Wisconsin, Michigan? How many of them do you think voted for this bill to stop corporations price gouging their constituents?
And you know that I would have asked you the question too, but I don't think any of them did it.
Give that man a cigar. That's the answer. Not one Republican voted for this bill to prevent price gouging of U.S. citizens.
And I'd be surprised if the man from West Virginia or the lady from
Joe Manchin and Sinema. It didn't go to the Senate. This is in the House.
Okay.
This is in the House, but still, you saw hundreds of Republican representatives. Not one voted to make sure that the prices their constituents are paying are fair prices.
Dennis,
are prices that are based on market dynamics, not greed and gouging. But of course, they don't care about that.
Right.
One thing we have to do now, and this is where the Democrats should come in, and they're not doing what they should be doing. Get out there, let the people know what's being done and what the Republicans are doing. Everything came out from Biden's end. They block it, but then they blame him for the problems.
Well, see,
but nothing he brings. They think.
The thing is that I just don't know what the Democrats are doing, what they're waiting for. All these things, man. It's like the Republicans not doing. They're not doing anything. Just standing back and peeping and saying, "Oh, they did this," and I mean, you got one or two Democrats who would say something against the Republicans, but most of them are just taking, they don't know what they're saying. It's like, man.
Matter of fact, man, right now, I am so upset with them that I don't even want them to come sending me about the campaign. Why are you sending me something when I'm offering you time, but you can't take it yet?
I don't know what both of you gentlemen expect them to do. You put a bill on the floor and you vote. In the democratic process, that's the only way that you move legislation, by voting.
Right.
Yes.
So let me finish. So they spoke loud and clear in support. First they created the bill, then they voted almost unanimously in support of the bill. Now, you may not see them on TV, you may not read them in print to your satisfaction, but the plain fact of the matter is, you getting mad at the Democrats is misguided, because the Democrats aren't the ones who are preventing this bill from going forward. If you're gonna be mad at somebody, pick your local Republican representative. We got plenty around here. Write them a letter. Give them a call.
You know, to me, I'm not. I'm not just saying about that. I'm saying about the whole thing. You know, the whole thing is that ever since Biden been in there, something comes up and it's like the Republicans got their ass at the end of it, and gone with it, and the Democrats never come back and say, okay, that's wrong, and that's wrong. They never want to speak out to the people.
Well, I hear Elizabeth Warren speaking out. I hear Bernie Sanders speaking out. I hear our representatives here in Michigan speaking out. I don't know what more you want them to do. Knock on your door and say, I tried?
Hey, I am talking about those who are currently in office, those who are looking to get in office. Don't wait until the day before elections to come out and tell people we need you to vote because this. Put in front of the people now. The Republicans are pushing in front of them the inflation. They don't want to talk about certain things. They just want to talk economy, inflation. Bring before the people all these other things that the Republicans are doing to prevent anything from happening.
Well,
so if you're going to
let me ask you a question.
The Republicans, if anything, you should blame for allowing the inflation to be what it is.
Who's at fault or gets the blame for rising wages? Because we're seeing that. Wages are going up. Who takes the blame or gets the credit for an economy that continues to expand with gross domestic product going up every month rather? Who gets the blame for that or the credit? Let me finish.
The
Who
credit
gets
should
the
go to the
blame
president.
for the jobs expanding monthly by hundreds of thousands every month for consecutive months on end? Do the Democrats take the blame or get the credit for that?
They should get the credit.
If you're not aware of that, that's not on the Democrats. That's on you.
But see,
That's on the people who don't pick up a newspaper. All they do is they look at a summary of the news and they think they're informed.
Well,
it's not the Democrats' fault
Yeah,
that they have a great economy in the midst of worldwide inflation, and they're getting hammered as being at blame.
But see, the thing is that you got to let those people who not reading the newspaper or who not listen to radio, let them know.
How you do it?
And
how you do it?
Just like the
how do you do it?
Just like the Republicans out here with different. They got one of the guys right now running for. There's two of the guys running for office here in Michigan. One of them got a commercial talking about got this guy's all had blood and everything talking about I would do this if I was and the Democrats not doing this. Okay, this other guy, he's got something. He's not saying anything, but he's got a commercial talking about the governor. What I'm saying is, the Democrats every time Republicans come out with something that they know is wrong, hey, they should not waste any time in coming out with something that's the truth for that,
So you said it's not about what's in the newspaper. It's not about what's on television. It's about whether or not they respond to commercials from Republicans. That's the problem?
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm trying to understand what the problem is.
What I'm saying is, you got to respond, man, out here now.
Okay,
nowadays you got to respond.
So if they vote and you don't know about it, and they write editorials and you don't know about it, and they make speeches and you don't know about it, what are they supposed to do?
But wait, what I'm saying is, I see this on the commercial. Other people see, a lot of more people see. I'm saying, when they come out with something too.
So
okay.
The issue then, to me, is what you're saying is when the Republicans put a commercial out there, the Democrats should have some type of quick response commercial capability to say, this commercial said this and this is what the truth is. That would be your idea of what we need to do.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an idea. I don't know if that's effective, but that's an idea.
Well,
But in reality, everything you say you want the Democrats to do, they are doing. Except for maybe doing quick response to commercials that the GOP runs.
But you look
listen now, man.
But you're
talking about response. I am saying, don't just sit back because we voted. Yes, you brought it in the House. You voted on it. Great. That's your job. Now, these folks are messing up everything, but then they're blaming you. You need to come out and let the people know what's going on. This is why you're not getting this. And you say, how to do it? Well, their boy, Donald, he has these big meetings every so often. Why don't you come out and have a meeting too? Let it know. The commercial, the media is out there with Donald and they talk about it. You come out. And since you can get the media out there, people will hear.
A few minutes ago you were saying all these things. Unemployment is down.
Jobs up.
All these things.
Economy up.
But if you look at Biden's, look at his
job approval.
His job approval.
39%.
Yeah.
And let's find out why. Because I got 3 reasons why his job approval is at 39%. Because Americans aren't literate. Because Americans aren't literate. And because Americans aren't literate. And when I say those 3 things, I'm not saying they can't read. I'm saying they don't read.
Yeah.
And if you too lazy to pick up Section A of your paper and read it.
Yeah.
Don't scan the headlines.
Yeah.
Read the article and see what it says within the body. If you're too lazy to do that, I don't have a prescription for you. Because again, the facts on the ground are inflation is what's vexing his approval rating. And inflation is worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
But bear in
no
mind,
one else in the world has an economy that's humming along like the U.S. economy has been since Biden has been president. But yet, here we have two Democrats, ostensible Democrats, who are unhappy with the economy and Biden's performance.
Wait. I'm not unhappy.
I'm not saying that.
I'm saying the
Somebody
Democrats
bring me a box
need to
of Puffs
come
over
out.
here, 'cause I hear a lot of crying.
I need to see the Democrats coming out and talking.
They do.
Tell the people. I mean, you're saying that
So one thing the Democrats don't have, they don't have a machine that is dedicated to propagandize its constituents. The right has hate radio. 9.5 out of 10 stations that have talk radio on AM stations are right-wing Republicans.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's by design. That's not an accident.
Yeah.
And then they have Fox News, which is dedicated to lying to their constituents. Which, by the way, we have Dominion putting Fox News on the ropes to the point now that Steve Bannon and Trump have both been subpoenaed to testify in this Dominion case that's going forth. Now, again, that's good news because it's saying to the public at large, if you just come out and just tell unabashed, unadulterated lies about our election and its processes, Dominion voting machines, Cesar Chavez, China, Bulgaria, Germany, all conspiring to flip votes. All this banana stuff. And they say it over and over again, and they get these dummies to believe it.
And that's the problem.
That's why they're able to go to court and get some type of satisfaction, some type of redress. But on the other hand, if Democrats come out and tell you the truth about what's going on with elections, with the economy, with your vote, what time's the game coming on?
Yeah.
What time's reality TV coming on? That's not their fault.
No, it's not.
At least put it out there. Let people hear.
Put it out. They do put it out. That's my point. It's in the paper every day. How can I know about it?
Dennis, back to your 3 reasons. Back to your 3 reasons.
Yeah, but you can read. And you can read.
I didn't say anything, but we're talking about the masses now. How many of these folks are doing that? And they're only listening to the right-wing radio and TV. Means
I did read last week that almost 40% of Americans cannot read above a 6th grade level. But I'm not necessarily talking about them. I'm talking about the people who have high school and associate degrees and college degrees. They're the ones saying that they don't know about this stuff. And I'm saying the reason why is they damn sure know what time their game's coming on. They damn sure know what time their reality TV show's coming on. They know all the gossip around the office, but they don't know the facts of their existence based on the news, and that's their fault.
But where's, okay.
They're covered in the brain.
Okay. Last week, it was 60-some% of the American people said we're going the wrong way.
In the economy.
In the economy. I mean, it's like, it really just stuns me because if unemployment was 8%, then we would be going the wrong way. But all of these things that you talked about earlier are going, and still we saying, so we got 60-some% of people talking about going the wrong way.
Well, Dennis,
let me
going
answer
out
him
to
for
buy
you.
a house for the first time and they can't afford it because what was a $180,000 house last year is now $300,000 house, and they've got 5 cash bidders ahead of them, as well as people who have already been pre-approved by the bank before they can even step up to the line to try to buy that house. That's a problem. When you go to the grocery store and you can't get sundries and you can't get formula and you can't get fresh fruits and vegetables, et cetera, to the extent that you're used to, that's a problem. When you see someone's check that comes in the mail worth 92% of what it was this time last year, that's a problem. So if they say we're on the wrong track, I get that. But okay, now we're on the wrong track, let's diagnose why we're on the wrong track.
Well,
And that's why I see the disconnect. Because then they say, well, it's Biden's fault.
Yeah,
Articulate to me how Biden controls his, they don't know.
That's what they're saying, you know. So this has to affect the election. You were saying, Patrick. You were saying.
I think you're wrong there too.
But
the whole thing here now, we got to understand that if these people are not getting the facts, they're holding on to what they get, and to them that's truth. Those of us who know the truth, and especially the politicians, I'm saying they should come out, make a concerted effort to get out there and let people know the truth. One. Next thing, you talk about the economy, the unemployment, and all of that. Mm-hmm. We are seeing a big difference. A matter of fact, when Trump was in and they talk about Trump was riding on the Obama's turnaround of the economy. Mm-hmm. But then Trump's stuff started dipping. But now we got not just America, which Dennis already nicely brought out. It's a worldwide thing. Mm-hmm. But yet, in spite of that, we are still seeing, nearly 400,000 new jobs last month? Yeah. Somewhere there.
Yeah. 370,000.
You know, it's moving. Am I going to get everything I want in the grocery store? No. You're right, Dennis. A lot of things not there. But now I have to learn to take what I have and work it in a way that it still benefits me, and not just sit back and say, well, inflation, everything gone up. I still have to drive my car. I was paying over $5 a gallon for fuel.
Yeah.
I still have to get where I'm going. Mm-hmm. But I don't just run all over the place just for the sake of running around. I take my time and go to where I have to go.
And because of your activity and others who are driving less now, and demand is starting to go down, the price is starting to go down. Again, those things that we're seeing with the price of oil, for example, is predicated pretty much on gouging. Mm-hmm. You've got people out here who have the ability mm-hmm. to produce more oil, mm-hmm. which would be into gasoline and other products that refuse to make more, because if they make more, the supply goes up and then the price goes down. So they don't want to do that.
Yeah. No.
So again, when people start driving less, you start to see the price of gas go down, which we've seen in the last week and a half.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that it does us any good at all to blame politicians for those things which they're either already doing or they have no control over. Now, if someone says to you that Biden is at only at 39% and that's going to impact my vote, well, let me disabuse you of that notion. You're seeing poll after poll after poll in the deep South, in the Southwest, all over the country, where Democratic candidates are running ahead of Republican candidates in head-to-head polls. You know why?
Right.
Because most people, even though they don't read enough and they don't pay close enough attention to my satisfaction, they know a couple things. They know that this inflation may or may not be here come November. They know that their gasoline prices may or may not be this high come November. Mm-hmm. But they damn sure know come November that the Republican Party is chock full of traitors who tried to overthrow a clean and fair election with a coup d'etat that was planned in the Oval Office mm-hmm. and had compatriots in the U.S. Senate, in the U.S. House,
mm-hmm.
and state and local elected mm-hmm. officials, as well as his paramilitary army he has out here,
mm-hmm.
which today is July 11th, tomorrow July 12th. You're going to see in the January 6th hearing then bring that all together. They're going to talk about how the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the Boogie Boys and the Fools on the Hill and all the rest of them were all working with in tandem in a conspiracy to overthrow the U.S. government.
That's
when
true.
you start talking to me about what's going on this fall, talk to me in November if inflation is still over 7%. Talk to me if gas prices are still over $4 a gallon. They may or may not be, but they damn sure will be aware of the fact that Donald Trump and his minions tried to overthrow the United States Constitution and the United States government. That's not going anywhere. So if you come to me and say, "Oh, the Democrats are behind. The Democrats aren't doing well. The inflation, we're going to lose." Nah, I don't think so.
Well,
I think the way things are trending now, you may see for the first time in decades a House race in an off-year election reward the party in power rather than the party that's not in power, which has been the track for the last 35, 40 years. That's how much the Republicans messed up with this coup d'etat they tried to do.
Yeah, well, you know, and the thing is that all around, I noticed some of these elections around the country and everything, and Republicans are seeing who can be the first, get the loudest, that Biden ain't the president. You know, it's like
illegitimate.
You know, it's like, man, I was watching one and I forget where it was anyway. And this guy was Biden ain't not that he's not the president. It's like, I mean, come on, man.
You know, the amazing thing is how people are so gullible. Before the election, Donald Trump said if he didn't win, it was rigged. The only reason he could lose if it were rigged.
Yeah.
He lost.
He said that in
2015 when he came out.
He was running in Iowa.
Yes.
And the Republican voters in Iowa chose Ted Cruz. He said it was rigged. When he didn't win an Emmy for that ridiculous fake show he had, when he didn't win an Emmy for that, he said it was rigged.
Yeah.
When his mama didn't kiss him first and kissed his brother first, he said she was rigged. Yeah. He's a loser. And he's a crybaby. He always makes the same excuse.
Yeah.
The only difference is, man, he's got a propaganda machine behind him that's powerful in radio and Fox News and all these other offshoots. Yeah. And what you see is people who are gullible and willing to buy this noise. That's the difference.
Yeah. All right. We can go on and on, but
keep cussing too.
We have to leave it right there. My name is Ahmad Sakaraki, and we catch you down the next block for more Street Talk. Peace.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, "You are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God."